If you want to start playing the best golf of your life right now, and I know you want to, you have to have a process and you have to have a plan before every single golf shot that you hit.
No, we got a chance at par.
I'm gonna make it.
Read it correctly.
Outside right edge, yeah. Little uphill.
It's in my hands again.
Yeah.
You have to have clear intentions, and I don't care if you are a beginner, a top-ranked junior, 95 years old, a 25 handicap, a 2 handicap, it does not matter. If you don't have proper intentions before you hit every single golf shot, you are not gonna maximize your scoring potential. In my 25 years of teaching, I have given hundreds of playing lessons, and I've seen players fail at this over and over and over again. And to be honest with you, it's a very simple thing. And it is a simple thing to get good at. You do have to work at it though. And in this video, I'm gonna share the process to get you to focus on every single golf shot and maximize your potential every single shot that you will face this year and going forward the rest of your career. And I'm also gonna challenge myself today because I'm gonna play 3 holes of golf using only a 7-iron from the 6,500-yard tees at a golf course. And my objective is to shoot 2 over or better for those 3 holes. Could be a tall task because again, I'm only using a 7-iron, but I wanna share the process in real time, not just explaining it to you. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I wanna welcome you. My name is TJ Valentine. I'm a 25-year PGA teaching professional. I hope my stories, my knowledge, my experiences over the years can help you become a better golfer. If you want to learn a little bit more about me, I put a bio down in the description below. And if you do like this type of content, consider subscribing. I have a lot more of this stuff coming, so please stay tuned. Let's get to work. So as I said, I've given hundreds of playing lessons, and players in general, no matter what their ability is overall, really struggle to stay consistent with their process. We need to have a distinct process to get the mind, to get the body, to get everything consistently aligned before we hit every shot. How many times have you hit a golf shot without thinking really about anything? We've all done it, where you hit a shot and then you go, why did I just do that? We've all done it, but if you follow this process, I promise you, you won't say that. Now, you may make a mistake in terms of club choice or reading the lie or whatnot. I mean, that's what makes golf hard. But if you follow the process, you will never step away from a shot going, why did I just do that? Why did I just make that decision? So this process is very, very simple. And like I said, I'm gonna show you on Whispering Pines, and I did up the ante a little bit. I'm gonna play from the 7,000-yard tee boxes. We're gonna play holes 1, 2, and 3. It is a par 4, a par 5, and a par 3. I'm gonna get to that in a second here. But let's go over the 5 steps. Now, 5 sounds like a lot, but you could go through these very quickly, but you need to go through these steps before you hit every single golf shot, because it's gonna get your mind very clear to execute the task at hand and the shot that you have. The first thing that you need to do when you walk up to your golf shot is check the lie. Now, obviously, if you're on a tee box, the lie is what it is. Hopefully it's a good one. If not, you may want to go play another golf course. But after you get off the tee, the lie is going to change significantly from shot to shot. I cannot tell you how many people I've watched, even elite junior players and really elite players, have hit a golf shot, and then I ask after, well, did you think about the lie? And they were like, I didn't. The lie is going to affect how the ball flies. Obviously in here in a simulator, I have one lie. That is what it is in here. Obviously, when you get on the golf course, you're gonna have a variety of lies. So the first thing, number 1 you have to do is assess the lie. The second thing, you have to check the yardages. You have to check for trouble. You have to check and see what is in front of you and how that could potentially be tied to the lie. So for example, on this hole, the first hole that I'm gonna play, 315-yard par 4. But if I look at the mini map down below in this right corner, and I highly suggest golfers to play with GPS, yardage books. Rangefinders are okay to a point. I have my opinions on rangefinders, not going to share them here today, but I highly encourage players to get a GPS device, whether it's on your phone. You can download some really cool free apps that you can do exactly what I'm doing here. So I have a 7-iron in my hand. So this is why we're gonna play these 3 holes, because I'm gonna walk you through this thought process. And that club choice becomes the 3rd step in this 5-step process. After we have our yardages, after we've checked the lie, after we know the trouble, we make the decision on what club we need to use. So I am looking at what is it to carry over this ravine right here, or the trouble. It is about 167, 4 feet uphill, so it's gonna play about 168. Now, just so you understand how far I carry my 7-iron, bottom end is about 160, top end is about 170. This is a long carry for me. I have to find an area. So over here on the left side, I do have some green grass to work with. Does make this shot tough. I didn't say this challenge was gonna be easy. And like I said, I'm trying to shoot 2 over at the most for these 3 holes. So I'm now assessing the yardage, I'm assessing the trouble. And I am now, unfortunately, figuring out that I have to aim somewhere over here on the left side. Now I am using a 7-iron, so my dispersion is not going to be that horrendous, even if I do pull it or push it or just hit it a little bit offline. I should still be okay. Now, this blends into the 4th step, which is intentions. So I am off a tee, so the lie is not going to give me any trouble. I have now created a target line in my mind. So my intentions, my normal ball flight is relatively straight. I can draw the ball a little bit, I can fade the ball a little bit, and that's my natural dispersion. So my intentions right now are to hit a shot that starts. There is a tree in the distance that I am looking at, and I am very focused on that tree. Because my ball flight, I'm gonna plan for it to go relatively straight. That does not mean it may not go to the left or to the right, but I'm gonna plan on it going straight. Those are my clear intentions. I'm gonna hit a stock shot with a stock trajectory. So I'm gonna take that target and I'm gonna bring it back to the ball. I'm gonna find an intermediate target about 1 foot to 1.5 feet in front of the golf ball that is in line with my ultimate target. This is gonna serve 2 purposes for me. Number 1, it's gonna help me with alignment. It is very hard for us as golfers hitting a ball far in the distance, standing this way to line ourselves up properly. And this is not an exercise on alignment. I am gonna have a video coming up on alignment, and you'll be surprised at what I talk about in that. So make sure you subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and hit that like button if you're getting something out of this. So I have that intermediate target in line, which is gonna help with my alignment. But I'm gonna do something else with that intermediate target. I am now gonna zero my focus in on that. So what I just did was I focused my eyes on that one little spot that I'm seeing down there. What that did was it took away all the other distractions that we can have. It cleared my mind. So that's focus. That is the 5th thing and the final thing you have to do before hitting your shot. So I am focused, I've zeroed in, I have clear intentions, I have the right club, I've assessed the situation. Now, I am gonna get up there and trust what I own and hit a golf shot. So I hit a little cut, didn't hit it super solid, but because I chose the right target line based on the situations, I had the proper yardages, I got away with that. And now I'm in play. It's 154. I have 154 yards to the pin. So now I'm gonna assess the lie. Obviously the lie in a simulator is the same every single time. But I am in the rough, as you can see on the screen right there. The other thing with the lie that you have to pay attention to is the pitch of the earth. So you'll notice in the bottom right corner, I am 9.8 degrees uphill, so I'm hitting this golf shot uphill. What is an uphill shot gonna do? It's gonna create a higher launch angle. It's gonna create a shorter shot overall because of the higher launch angle. I also have 5.7 degrees to the right. So anytime as a righty, you have a slope to the right, this ball is now below my feet. This golf ball wants to move a little bit to the right. So I am assessing the lie. I'm assessing what's gonna happen. Out of the rough, I'm probably gonna lose a little bit of speed, a little bit of ball speed. So it's going to come up a little shorter than if I was in the fairway. And you know, you guys play golf, you guys understand that. But these are the things you have to think through. You may understand all this stuff, but if you don't think through this process, you're not gonna execute and you're not gonna hit the proper shot for the situation. So let's go over to the mini map again. And I wanna now check yardages and look for any trouble. As I said, let's fly to the green first. So you can see exactly where that pin is. That is a sucker pin. If I hit this thing literally 6, 7, 8 yards long, it's gone. It's rolling, 2 towns away. So this is why I don't like rangefinders in general, because if I'm sitting back here in the fairway, I can't see the green. I just take my rangefinder out, it's 154, that's the number intuitively I'm gonna use. I need to see what I have up there. What is it to the middle, left side of the green? So we'll just call it 140 to the middle. I wanna stay away from the right side. Obviously you get that rock on the left side, but this is gonna be my target line, 140. Now if I go back, it's also 8 yards uphill. How does that influence the shot? 8 yards uphill, it's going to add 8 yards to the shot. So if it's a 140 yard as the crow flies shot, it is now gonna play 148 yards overall. Now we have to take into account the rough. We have to take into account the lie. We have to take into account all of this stuff and how it's gonna affect the flight. And you have to think through this stuff. So doing these quick calculations in my head, I'm gonna say this shot is gonna play roughly 150. If I hit a 150 yard shot here with this 7-iron, I should land the ball somewhere in the 140 zone. Now, here's full disclaimer, I'm not a tour player, but, and you're probably not a tour player out there either, and you're probably saying, man, that's very, very specific. I can't hit the golf ball that specific of a shot. Well, neither can I, but I'm using my best judgments here to get the ball to land in a spot on that big green up there to give myself a chance to putt at it, or at least be in an area where I'm not in a lot of trouble and I can easily recover. So now I have the shot. I have my intentions. I want to hit a 150 yard shot. Now I'm also going to start this golf ball slightly to the left, and I'm going to use the bunker on the left side, kind of the right side of that bunker, as my starting line. So I have now created intentions. I have the yardage that I need to hit. I have the target line that I need to aim at. And also I'm visualizing the flight that I'm going to hit this golf shot. This ball is going to, in a perfect world, start at that bunker and it's going to drift to the right a little bit. So let's see if I can execute it. I'm going to draw that intermediate target, find that intermediate target. Boom. I'm bringing my focus in. Now, definitely not the greatest shot in the world, but I'll tell you what, because I went through that entire process, that ball stayed in play. That ball did not get in trouble. The ball definitely moved a lot more right than I thought it was going to, but also I hit the ball slightly on the toe, so I lost some more energy off of that as well. That's golf. You're not going to hit every shot perfect every time, but now we're in a situation here, so I have to assess the lie. I am in the light rough, and I have a 7-iron in my hand. So I am looking at how much green do I have to work with. And if I go over to the mini map, so I am looking at roughly 20 yards, give or take, of surface area, again, on a straight line to that pin. So I'm gonna aim a little bit left of that pin. So those are my intentions. Obviously I have a 7-iron, so this ball is gonna come off low. So I'm looking at a spot just prior to where the fringe and the green meet, where I want to land this golf ball. Obviously a 7-iron here, the ball's going to come off hot. So I find my intermediate target. Sit. All right, pretty well executed. So now I have a 12-footer to save par. Now obviously lie has nothing to do with this shot. Hopefully the lie has nothing to do with this shot. So what I'm doing now is I'm assessing, is it uphill, is it downhill? And obviously we have our cheat sheet on the green there. It's slightly downhill, and it is slightly moving from right to left. I am not going to give up the hole. I'm going to aim in between where the pin is and the corner of the cup. Now, in terms of my aim point here, pretend I just marked that ball right there. I am going to aim at a point halfway. So I'm going to find a point out here. Obviously, simulator is a little bit different than real life, but I'm going to try to follow the same process. I am going to take the line on the ball, and I am going to aim the golf ball, just like I do in real life, at that spot that I see out there. Now I'm going to focus on that spot. And go up and execute. Good. So I save par. So I hit a poor approach shot. I hit a poor second shot to the green, but because I followed the process, I was not distracted by that poor shot, and I ended up executing the putt at the end of the day. You're not gonna make a lot of 12-footers, in reality, but I gave myself an opportunity to save par, and if I didn't make that putt, that's fine. Make bogey, move on to the next hole, and keep working. Let's do a little flyover. Let's take a look at this hole. So you can see those bunkers to the left are not in play off the tee with a 7-iron. All right, so if we look at the mini map down below, I am looking at my yardage with the 7-iron. And it's 10 yards downhill, so we're gonna add another 10 yards to that. So 170, I am looking somewhere out here. Woo, boy, this is a long hole. But I wanna make sure, again, I am working away from the trouble. I can't carry any of this, we know that. And obviously, I'm probably not gonna reach the fairway over here, but that's okay. So I have my yardages. I see the trouble. My intentions are very clear right now. My intentions are to hit my stock shot straight out. There is a tree in the distance out there that I am focusing in on right now. So I have clear intentions. Let's find the intermediate target. Oh, get up on that tee box. Oh, yeah. Is that the fairway? Did I reach the fairway? All right, it was a fairway. I hit it over the tee boxes. All right, so I hit that pretty well. Again, executed exactly how I saw in my mind. So let's go back over to the mini map. So pretty much nothing out in front of us. I do have to look at where that bunker is. The bunker is 113 from us, slightly down, so it's playing about 117. I just need to know what it is to cover those bunkers in case I pull it over there. 151, so it's about 160 to cover the left bunker. Now I'm gonna aim far enough to the right that I should not with a 7-iron bring these into play at all. So again, I'm picking a tree out here in the distance, slightly right of the bunker in the distance. So I have my yardages, I have the trouble, I have my intentions, intermediate target, focus, see the shot at hand, I'm visualizing the ball flight I want to have. Now I'm just going to focus on my tempo. Did pull it a little bit. Not much left of my target line, so that's good. One thing too is always focus on a small target in the distance, whether it's a par 5, a par 3, tee shot, it doesn't matter. Small target equals small misses. If you're just focusing on trying to hit a driver into the fairway, if you miss that target, you've missed the fairway. Find something small. Even the lawnmower cuts on the fairway are good visuals. Bring that into your focus point. Bring that into your intentions. It's certainly gonna help. It's not gonna hurt, I'll put it that way. All right, here, 205 as the crow flies to the pin, and we know I can't hit the 7-iron 205. So we put ourselves in pretty good position though. So if we look at the mini map, and I'm looking at how far I hit my 7-iron, it's 10 yards downhill. So we're gonna add 10 yards to that. So we'll say 175 should be my carry here. That'll put us in a spot, there's a wide enough gap here, so trouble is not gonna be in play here. My focus is gonna be on this tree, and my intentions are to hit a little bit of a draw on this one and to work it off of that hill. So I have my clear intentions. We're gonna start it at that tree, have this ball work to the left, intermediate target, focus, visualizing the flight, good tempo. And honestly, that was exactly how I saw it in my head. I had no distractions on that shot. I had clear intentions, and I executed exactly what I was seeing in my mind's eye. And I'm gonna stress how many times I have witnessed golfers, good players, not have that process, not have intentions, and then hit a shot and then just say, what did I just do there? And then when you dive into it, they had no clear intentions whatsoever. You have to have these clear intentions. Let me know below in the comments, do you follow a similar plan when you play? And I'm not saying this is end all, because there's gonna be nuances to this. Everybody is different. But if you in general follow this plan, I promise you, you are going to play better golf without changing anything in your golf swing. I'm not saying you're gonna be able to draw the ball on command like that just because you tell yourself, but I'll tell you what, you are gonna execute better golf shots and you're gonna be able to recover from trouble much, much, much easier. Okay, so we have 27 yards to the pin. And honestly, everything is in front of me here. I see that it is slightly uphill and it is working slightly right to left. I am focusing in on a spot on that green that I want to land this golf ball. With that said, when I get closer to the green, my focus gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Intermediate target. Focus. And obviously, because this is a 7-iron, this is going to come off low, very similar to that first hole. And I'm just trying to roll that ball up and give myself a putt. Ooh, get up the hill. Come on, come on. All right. So I have 12'5". Wow, that distance looks very, very similar. 12'5". It's actually a very similar putt. Slightly uphill. It is moving ever so slightly right to left early on. So again, I have my clear intentions. I want to start this ball really the same spot, in between the pin and the right edge of the cup. Find that intermediate target. Focus. Now, what I'm visualizing here is the ball dropping in the cup. Ooh! We are in a very good spot. All right, so for our last hole, par 3, and I chose this par 3 and this pin placement as a talking point. The pin is in the dead front of that green. If we do again, a little flyover to that green, you will see there is trouble left, a bunker. I do not want to hit a 7-iron bunker shot. And short, everything rolls back. Now the beauty of this hole is you have this huge backstop back here, and there's a lot of room to miss. A lot of room to miss. So I am looking at carrying this in about the 155 zone, and it's going to play pretty close to the yardage. It's slightly uphill. We'll add a yard to it. And I'm actually going to use the pin as my target line, because that pin really splits the right side and the left side. Now, some would say, well, why don't you aim more to the right because you have more room to miss to the left? But if you look at the shape of that green, it goes off deep to the left. So perceptually, it may not look like as much room, but there's actually a lot of room. And again, this is why I go back to having a GPS device to get that same look. I mean, if you look at the mini map, there is more room. It opens up over there. If you do have issues with hooks and poles and things like that, obviously this is where, going back to what I said, a case-to-case basis. You have to play your shot shape, your miss pattern, and that goes into the second point, which is assessing the trouble and creating intentions relative to your ball flight, your personal ball flight. So I am gonna have to hit a slightly choked down version of this 7-iron. And if I do hit it really long, it is still gonna be okay. So I'm going to choke down. My intentions are, I'm going to choke down a little bit, which is naturally going to take some speed off of this club. I'm not going to try to swing slow. I'm going to make my normal swing, but choking down will take away a little bit of that speed. I'm visualizing the ball flight going right over that pin. See my intermediate target. Now I'm going to get my focus. Now as I walk in, I'm visualizing my flight. I am going to hit it straight, relatively straight. I'm not trying to create any type of a ball flight outside of just my stock. I'm going to focus on my tempo. And I did pull that. Okay. I almost caught that a little bit too good. Now when you do pull the golf ball, the club face is closed, which does de-loft the club. So your ball speed is going to increase, and you've probably experienced that as well. You hit a shot, it's gone long and left. It's because the face is shut down and you've de-lofted the club, ball speed increases and you get that. Now with me, And a lot of players, to be honest with you, when you choke down on the club, the tendency is to miss to the left overall. But I knew that I had plenty of room to miss over there. Now, granted, I've left myself with this little tricky shot. Actually, all 3 holes, I've actually had a very similar shot. Downhill, everything is working away. It looks like it's gonna go right to left, then left to right. I'm gonna play this relatively straight, visualizing where I wanna land it. Now reset. Now, that just brought up something super, super, super important. I actually missed my intermediate target process right there, and I caught myself. Reset if that happens. It happens a lot to players, and I've seen it many, many times where players will go in, and you'll see them kind of miss their and you just see them go, ah, crap, I'm just gonna hit it anyways. And then ultimately they hit a bad shot because of that. Step out, it takes 2 seconds. So again, I'm resetting everything. I have my intentions already. I have my intermediate target. Focus. As I walk in, I'm gonna see the ball flight. I see where I wanna land the ball. Now it just comes down to execution. Get down that slope. Okay, pretty good shot. 8 feet on the button, pretty straight. Boy, I'd love to go par, par, par with just a 7-iron. I'm feeling the pressure a little bit. I like it. It's gonna be a relatively straight putt, slightly downhill. I just gotta get this ball going on line. Reset again. I got ahead of myself. And there you go. Follow that process just like this. Don't skip that process. You're gonna play better because of it. I promise you.